by terrorists throughout Nigeria. The US and Nigeria have just entered into a security cooperation agreement, and that is an important step in tackling the violence in Nigeria and deepening and strengthening the bilateral relationship between our great nations. God bless you all. So we have to understand what Ralimo said here, because there are several layers inside what he said. And the first thing he said is that he traveled to Nigeria and held high-level meeting with the Nigerian officials, the church and the groups and all that. So that is important, and he is establishing his credibility, which now gave birth to all the reports and demands that we have read previously. So he is saying, I did not write this from Washington based on report. I was there. I saw it with my own eyes. I spoke to the people. So when he gives an opinion after this, his opinion carries the weight of someone who was physically present. And the second thing he said, in my discussion, the idea of dividing the country has not come up in any serious way. Now, if you listen to what he's saying here, he is telling us who he spoke to during this visit. He spoke to Nigerian government officials, he spoke to the church leaders, he spoke to Ribadu, the terrorist, he spoke to the governors, which is recruiting more terrorists to kill his people. So none of those people brought up dividing Nigeria because they are benefiting from Nigeria. They are not the victims. So the Christians in Benue also showed up. They are burnt churches. And they are not also campaigning for Biafra independence, you see. So they are campaigning for safety inside Nigeria as it currently exists. So Ralimo is reporting accurately what he heard, and we trust him for that. But what he did not hear is the voice of the people outside Nigeria. That is the voice in diaspora, which is the Biafra Republic government in exile. He did not hear the Biafran lobbyists in Washington, D.C., who have been building the case for independence separately from the IDP camps of Benue, because he only went to Benue. He has not heard from the Biafran people. He did not visit the Biafra land. And you could see that the next thing he also said there was efforts to embolden separatist hot Christians in Nigeria, especially in the north and middle belt. So this is a sentence that is directly, specifically at the Biafra movement and at Biafra Republic government in exile. So he is saying, if Biafra agitation destabilizes Nigeria, the people who suffer most are not the Biafran people in the Biafra land. It will be the Christians in the north and in the middle belt who are already surrounded by these hostile forces and these terrorists, and who depend on whatever fragile state protection still exists in that contraption, Nigeria. So his concern is real, yes, and it is serious. And the Biafra Republic government in exile, being the only entity talking about Biafra and seeking for the freedom of the Biafran people, understood that this concern had to be answered immediately and not dismissed, and not even to argue against, and but genuinely and formally answered in the way that matters a lot. So his statement contains that direct implicit challenge to Briggy, and you know, but what happens to the Christian in the north and in the middle belt? The people who are there are not just Igbos, and they are not in the southeast, and they cannot simply move to Biafra land if Nigeria should destabilize. So it's simply asking, what is your plan? He's asking us now, what is your plan for them? Not that he has not heard about Biafra. He has heard about Biafra, but he just wants to understand, what is your plan? So if you cannot answer that question, what is your plan for this group of people in the middle belt and in the north? That means your independence project is a threat to the very people you claim to be saving. So that is the question Briggy had answered last night, and we answered it with a formal cabinet vote representing all the Biafran people. You see, a destabilized Nigeria would embolden terrorists and make Christians less safe. His assumption embedded in that statement is that the Biafra independence equals Nigeria destabilization. And we had to, immediately give him the response yesterday. So our government response turned that assumption completely on its head, because the policy formally asserts and has now put on the record for the international community that Biafra independence will not destabilize the region, it will stabilize the region. That was how I had to play the space today. It will stabilize the region, so it will never destabilize the region. An independent Biafra with a secure and functional Christian majority state with strong ties to the United States of America and with good military basing rights offered to America, and with counter-terrorism cooperation built into its founding framework, the Biafra will be a stabilizing force in West Africa, not a destabilizing one. Yeah, because as I said in the afternoon, if you look at South Sudan as they separated from Sudan in 2011, many people say the same thing that Mo is saying about Biafra today. Separation will cause instability. It will embolden extremists. They said all sorts of things. And yes, we know, but South Sudan has a problem after independence. That is a fact. But the problem were not caused by internal political failures, not by the principles of separation itself. So the reason South Africa fell was that it did not have what Biafra is now building. We are so blessed. We have a prepared governance framework that is working for us, that even when our leaders are in detention, the movement still goes on. We are not taking instruction from our leaders in the prison. We have moved on because our freedom is not in the hand of any individual. So we have that governance framework. We have our international lobbying network. We have a clear charter, that policy that is holding us. Yeah, and we have an alliance with the world's most powerful country, which is the United States. So Briggy is essentially saying to Rally Mall and to the international community, which we did last night, that we have learned our lesson from South Sudan. We are not going to be a failed state. No, we are going to be a state that serves as a beacon of safety for Christians across West Africa, the same way Israel serves as a beacon for safety for Jewish people worldwide. So our formal language of policy is very, very clear. An independent Biafra will serve as a safe haven for Christians in West Africa. So that was voted upon last night. Now, a tweet alone wouldn't have been enough to respond to Ralimo. It wouldn't have been enough. That was why our Prime Minister had to call a formal cabinet meeting last night for them to cast their vote. Because when an individual or advocacy group respond to a congressman's statement on social media, that response carries, the weight of an opinion. But when a government cabinet, 44 members were present yesterday, vote unanimously on a formal policy in a direct response to that statement, that response carries a weight of law. Yeah, not even a weight of emotion, a weight of law. So it is the difference between a private citizen saying, oh, I disagree with you, and a parliament passing a resolution that says, as a matter of official government policy, we formally commit to the following. You could hear it from our Prime Minister. Briggy choose to respond as a government because Briggy is a government, not a group, not a committee. And that government decision now exists on the official record of the Biafra Republic government in exile. So if you are not in Briggy, I don't know where you are. Who is presenting you? Who is speaking for you? So the government, gathered yesterday, they convened yesterday to address the concern raised in a Rallymo statement. All the 44 cabinet members of Briggy participated, and the vote was 100% in favor. of it. Everybody agreed. The motion was to formally adopt the Brigade policy towards Christians in Nigeria in the Middle Belt. A policy framework crafted specifically to respond to Rallymore's concern that Biafra independence could endanger northern and Middle Belt Christians rather than protect them. 100% vote was given unanimously. So we are committed. Because when a government cabinet passes a vote, a resolution with 100% unanimous support, it tells the international community three things. This is not a divided or fractured a government passing something by a slim majority. No, this represents the consensus position of the entire government. And I just want to thank our government cabinet members that gathered to display this yesterday. And this policy will be pursued with a full collective commitment of every member of the executive. So for a government in exile seeking international recognition, a unanimous cabinet vote on a formal policy is the closest thing to a constitutional act it can perform. And I'm so proud of all of them. So it says that this is who we are and what we stand for officially. Thank you so much, His Excellency and your cabinet members. So the Biafra Republic government cabinet actually voted to do so many things, and just like two, but I'm going to just touch it briefly because it's almost 12 a.m. here. And we need to also understand why this policy is historically significant for us Biafrans. Now, our Prime Minister said yesterday, the first policy is automatic citizenship for Northern and Middle Belt Christians upon Biafra independence. So the Brigade voted to grant this automatic citizenship to Christians from this region. They will follow our law and our guideline and all that. So this is grounded in the proclamation already made by our Prime Minister Ogechukwu Nkere. And Ogechukwu Nkere now based his proclamation on what our detained leader, Mazi NNAMDI KANU, had already said. So the cabinet, we had to vote to formalize what Onyendu said. Yes, Onyendu first of all said it. And even when our Prime Minister was there, he also extended that hand of fellowship to build their security firm for them. So it is not a new thing. Now, if you ask those that have gone to Rabu Fulani and Imam Madabu, who is now following the template of Onyendu? Is it those other groups? No. It is still the Biafra Republic government in exile that is following the template of our leader Onyendu, because this came up from his mouth initially. He was the first person to proclaim this, followed by our Prime Minister Simon Ekpa. But now we have actualized it. We have done what? Formalize it. And we have signed it into law. So this man, congressman concern was, if Biafra becomes independent and Nigeria destabilizes, what happens to the Christians still living in KANU? What happens to the Christians still living in Kaduna and Plateau and all those places? These are not Biafran people for most parts. Even though we know these are Biafrans that migrated. They were born there, they have their families there, they've lived there, they've become indigenous of those communities. So they classified these people as thief Christians, as Berum Christians, as Hausa Christians, and the rest of them Zulu Christians, and dozens of other ethnic groups whose Christian faith has been, made them to be target of violence. And they have no place to go. They are not from Biafra land, majority of them. Biafra was not their ancestral homeland. So more is asking, will Biafra independence just create a new Christian safe zone for only Biafran people, while abandoning the Middle Belt Christians, who are the most vulnerable group in that entire region? So that was a profound and serious question that the man asked, and he did not get answer until Biafra Republic government in exile gave him an answer. So that's the policy one. No, every Christian from North and Middle Belt who is facing persecution will have automatic right to Biafra citizenship. Biafra will be their country as well, if they need it. And this is what Israel did. When Israel state was established in 1948, the founders encoded into its law something called the law of return. That was what they did, the law of return. And this law says that any Jewish person anywhere in the world, regardless of what country they are born in, regardless of what language they speak, so far as you are a Jew, regardless of, what they own and how much money they have, you will become an Israeli citizen. That was why Onyendu went there when they wanted to kill him in Nigeria. He went there and he had his safety space. So the law of return does not say prove your connection to this specific tribe. No. It does not say prove your grandparents were from this specific village. It says you are a Jewish. You are persecuted or at risk. Just like Onyendu, he was persecuted. He had to run to Israel. So, and Israel is your refuge. Come, we will receive you. So that is the model Briggy has now adopted for persecuted Christians in West Africa. An independent Biafra will be the equivalent of Israel for persecuted Christians, not just for Biafra people, but for every Christian across West Africa who has no safe place to go. So this policy directly and specifically answers Ralimo's consent. Because he said destabilizing Nigeria hurt Christians in the North and Middle Belt. Bringing and respond, we agree that those Christians need protection. We are not saying they should not, they should be abandoned inside Nigeria. We are saying if Nigeria fails them, as it has been failing them for 25 years, they have a home in Biafra land. They have citizenship. They have a country that they will take, that will take them. Biafra independence does not abandon nothing Christians. It creates a formal refuge for them. And when they need one. So he said if Nigeria break, yeah.
People are requesting, and I've been trying to bring them on. They are not responding. Can you try from your end?
Yeah, give me time. When I finish, I will do that. Give me time, please. When I finish, I will do that. And then from there, we end the space. It's 12 midnight here. Just give me some time. I hope you can hear me.
Yeah. I hear you.
Okay, thank you, my brother. So, rally must, if Nigeria, that's what it means. They are covered. Let them come. So you cannot dismiss this. You cannot say Briggy didn't think about nothing Christians. They just voted unanimously for 44 votes to 0. So to make nothing Christian citizens of Biafra. You see? So as I said, this is not a new idea that is being invented to impress America. Our Onyendu had already proclaimed these principles years ago. And what the cabinet voted, was to take his proclamation into an official policy. So nobody should come and say Briggy should not have done it, like that mad woman in Georgia. Because she doesn't know what she's talking about. The same way a parliament turns a president's speech into law, it moved from a promise into a legal framework. Because promise can be forgotten, but the law will continue to be there. That is what Briggy did last night. And the second policy was that Briggy commits to supporting Christian communities in Nigeria Middle Belt through political, 1, humanitarian, 2, and lawful defensive cooperation. I love Briggy. If you are not in Briggy, you are missing a lot. So this second policy now commits Briggy to actively support these Christians where they are. So if you look at it, while policy 1 deals with a long term of citizenship, what happens to Christians after Biafra independence, policy 2 that our Prime Minister read yesterday deals with the present. It says, while we are working towards independence, and even before independence is achieved, Biafra as a government commits to actively help the Middle Belt Christian communities who are suffering right now. So this is a remarkable commitment from our government, because it is a government in exile extending this protective mandate beyond its own ethnic and territorial base to include communities that are not traditionally part of Biafra project. So kudos to our government. You see what is happening? Kudos to them. The first channel is political advocacy. That means that Briggy, which has a lobbying presence in Washington, which has testified before the Tom Lantos Human Rights Commission, which has met with the Speaker of the House and members of Foreign Affairs Committee, commit to using those relationships that we have built and that access to advocate specifically for these Middle Belt Christians, not just for Biafran independence. So when Biafra Republic government representative sit in the congressional office and speak about Christian persecution in Nigeria, they are now formally committed to raising the voice of the Tiv people of Benue, of the Beron people in Plateau. So not only a Biafran voice, so this has transformed Briggy from separatist lobby into a broad Christian advocacy government at the international level. We are always the best. Always the best. And the second one is humanitarian cooperation, working with international organizations, working with NGOs, faith-based institutions to provide humanitarian support to these displaced Christian communities. So in practical terms, this means that Briggy has built its international relationship and its resource base. Yes, that is what it means. So if you are not supporting the Biafra Republic government in exile, what are you waiting for? I don't know how to talk to you again. If you look at the third channel now, you can see that it is even more sensitive and most important, because the language must be understood precisely. Briggy commits to form strategic alliances to assist in community self-defense. That is what our government wants to do. Lawfully community self-defense to counter terrorists in accordance with international standards. I want to be very, very clear about what this means and what it does not mean. This is not Briggy saying, I will send armed fighters to Middle Belt. No. This is not a call for vigilante violence. No. Lawfully community self-defense according to international law. It means assisting communities to organize their own protection within the legal framework organized by international humanitarian law. That's what it means. Training and coordination, early warning signs, defensive capacity that meets international standard. Of course, we know that anything Briggy is doing, they always do it according to international standard. So that phrase in accordance with international standard is not it's not decoration. It is a legal boundary, and it is in that policy for exactly the reason you think, to make it clear to the international community that Briggy is not promoting armed insurgency, but supporting the recognized right of communities to defend themselves from terrorist attack. That's what Briggy is saying. I hope you are still hearing me. So that is what our government did last night. And we are very proud of them. And I'm also proud of the think tank of the Biafra Republic government in exile. So Biafra, which is our Briggy, has achieved a lot. Because for decades, the accusation level against our government is that it is about Igbo ethnic nationality project. Oh, it is about Igbo self-determination. Oh, that once Biafra is achieved, everyone who is not Igbo will be left behind. No, our policy has changed that. That policy said no. Policy 2 formally and legally dismantled that accusation by committing that the Biafra Republic government is not going to do such a thing, that we have opened our arms. Our government is saying Briggy is not Igbo project. Biafra is a Christian refuge project. And our mandate extends to every Christian in West Africa who is vulnerable, not just one who shares our language and our ancestry. No. So we have achieved a lot from the vote of last night. Excuse me. We have achieved a lot. Because on the surface, it looks like a response to social media. But underneath, it is one of the most strategically significant things Briggy has ever done. Yeah, because it has removed that objection. That single most powerful argument that opponents of Biafra used to use against us at the UN and anywhere they go, it has been removed. The argument goes, oh, if you withdraw borders to create a new state, you will always produce new minorities inside that new state who were not part of the group, and you will leave behind minorities. Well, we countered that last night. That's not who we are. We countered it. So we have removed that objection. Biafra independence might serve Igbo, but it might abandon that. We cancel it because we don't want. People are already killed in hundreds every day. And this man had visited the camp. You see, we countered that yesterday with a vote, a direct one for that matter. No one is going to be left behind. They will have their automatic citizenship. And we also use policy 2 to say, until they come, we will protect and continue to support them. Briggy is smart and very, very intelligent. Thank you so much, Biafra Republic government in exile. We love what you did yesterday. Kudos to all of you. So the international recognition of new state under international law requires several things to define a territory, a permanent population, an effective government, and even the capacity to enter into relationship with other states. So the minority protection question has always been hidden. People don't always look at this one. It has always been hidden as the 5th requirement. And that is for the state to demonstrate that they can protect minorities within and around their borders. You see? So our government has now formally addressed that 5th requirement that has always been hidden, that we also care for the minority group. So when our government approach United Nations when it is time, or any other government, or approach US State of Department, or sit in meeting with Congress persons and make case for Biafra dependence, it can now say, oh, we have a formal policy now. We have adopted unanimously by our 44 cabinet members that will grant automatic citizenship to persecuted Christians from the North and Middle Belt. And that commits us to protect those communities politically and defensively while we pursue our independence. Isn't that beautiful? Our government will be so proud to say we are not a movement that is indifferent to the fate of minority Christians. We are a government that has formally committed to, protect these Christians in the northern part of Nigeria. That's the statement our government will be saying now. Those of you that say you should wait for our former prime minister in the prison to come and give you instruction, would our prime minister now take this kind of document to him in prison? I don't know why you people are not reasoning. Excuse me. This is one of the reasons we had to elect a prime minister. Look at what is playing out now. Will Simon Ekpa come out from prison and lead this one? He cannot. We need a leader. And we are beginning to see it. Those of you that are still blind, I hope you can see it clearly. Why we needed a prime minister. So our Biafra Republic government in exile did not pass this policy in 2020. They did not pass it in 2015. They passed it now. In public, you all saw it. Documented response to a specific concern raised by a US congressman who led the investigation that produced most consequential report on Nigeria in American history. We've never seen it before. Who has the ears of the president and whose consent carry more weight in Washington, D.C. right now. The timing is not accidental. So by responding to Rally more specifically, Briggy ensures that this policy reaches exactly the audience that matters most. So Rally Moore will see the response, his staff will see it, the congressional record will also be included. International media covering the Nigeria story, will see it at once. You see, a few days from now, they'll begin to talk about it. So Briggy has now turned this man's concern into an opportunity to strengthen its international credibility. And we did that, within how many hours, we finished. So my people, I think we are almost, ending it, because it was so great what the Biafra Republic government in exile did yesterday, and we are so proud of them. So I will yield my mic here. I don't know if anybody has anything to say. Then we'll call it a day. Mweze. So please,
Yeah.
as you are giving your please just be focused on what you have to say. Don't go this way, go that way. Just go straight to your submission. Welcome, you have the mic. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you so much, Honorable Tutos, and thank you for your time. We know it is not easy. Yeah, and you have been trying for Biafrans, and I thank you for your courage and understanding and for ability to educate us the more. Yes, since we don't have enough time, I just want to say that I agree with you 100% in everything you explained to us. Yes, you understand the struggle. We are not building a country where law and order will not be respected or due process are not followed. Yeah, I understand more lamentation. I call it lamentation or complaint because our supreme leader, NNAMDI, KANU, promised that if the oil or gas is the problem of Africa or the world, that is ready to give it for free for those who need it. So what happened yesterday was what I was expected from the day Larry complained or lament about the situation of the people in the middle belt. He knows, he saw of what is happening there, and he knew and understand that Biafrans, if their brain is revised to fight for their freedom, that they will be able to withstand Nigerian terrorists. But his concern was these vulnerable people in the middle belt. And he was waiting for that assurance from Biafran side, that commitment from Biafran side, that yes, if you support us and recognize us to be a country, we will look after these vulnerable people, we will protect them, we will be there for them. Yes, from my own understanding, that is how I understand that complaint from Larry Moore. And I'm very happy yesterday that happened. I was very, very, very happy. I say, yes, this is a government and I am proud of this government and I'm proud to be a member of this government, a supporter of this government. And I will continue to give support to this government. If this government fall in a hole, I will fall with them. If they fall in heaven, I will fall with them because I have found a family who understand. When I was waiting for this, I said, okay, or I remember that, yes, our prime minister is that Ogechukwu, the Messiah, job. So that is the time, and everything is time, and the prime minister is the time. And yesterday was the time to reassure Africa, not even the middle belt, that Biafra is ready to protect the whole of African continent, even the world at large, if they need our help and protection. Yes, we are capable and we are able. So Biafrans, come on board. UK is not our problem. We are our own problem now. And America is waiting with their two hands open to embrace us and welcome us and work with us. The problem is us. The problem is us. So no any other people is our problem, Biafra. So let us come on board and support our Prime Minister and see Biafra. Thank you very much for this opportunity. Since we don't have time, let me use my mic here. Thank you, Honorable Minister Titus.
Thank you, Minister Ngweze. Thank you for your submission. Hold on, please permit me to give the mic to our original COS. He's in the house, please, so that after him you speak and then we call it a day. Our COS, welcome. You have the mic. Are you there, sir? Welcome.
Yes, ma'am. Yes. Good afternoon from here. I know
Welcome.
it's very late where
Good.
you are.
Good morning from.
Yes, my dear. And I want to please extend a warm greeting to all our senior citizens who are here with us. Loved one in ICU and all the reps and admins who are here. You are all welcome to Bridges Space and thank you for being with us today. I want to please stand on the existing protocol. You know our sister is it's already night and is today Friday. Today is Friday. Why
Yeah,
is Raider appearing?
today is Friday. Today is Friday.
Someone has entered Saturday already.
I've entered Saturday
I think
already. Yeah, I've entered Saturday.
you're running because Rage is not here. He would have held you accountable
He's
for your
here.
time.
He's here. He's requesting for mine, but I will not give him. So,
Uh, all right. Anyway, thank you so much for today's space. It was very educative, very eye-opening, and it is exactly what our people needed after yesterday's program with the government. Um, what we are witnessing is government speaking to government. The United States Congress have spoken through the report by the committee that was in charge, that Rep. Riley Moore is in charge of. They've spoken, they've said what the problem, the fear that they see with Biafra exiting the shithole called Nigeria. And what would a government as Biafra do? You will respond. The response of the Biafra Republic government in exile is truly an, an example of what a hallmark, is a hallmark response from a country that really cares. Biafra does not just care for the Biafran people. Just like our initial cries about the dissolution of Nigeria, it wasn't just solely for the Biafran people, but for the security of lives of everyone, every indigenous person in the territory called Nigeria. As a matter of fact, people might not know this, but it is because of Brigi Media that most of the informations, the atrocities that Nigeria carries out on its citizens are being discussed. The Nigerian media says nothing when atrocities happen. I mean, up north, not to talk about when their terrorist soldiers are slaughtering our people. So everything that you see today is as a direct response to what Brigi and the Brigi media has been doing for a very long time. Extending all the way to our leader Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's broadcasts, to Mazi Simon Ekpa's explosive broadcast and teachings, and expositions of the Nigerian terrorist state. So we appreciate Brigi for what they did today. Most importantly, our people should understand that what you see today took time. It is process. Everything about politics and fulfillment of anything that you bring before a responsible government, it takes process. And the United States government has been taking their time to make sure that Nigeria will not only be held accountable, but there will be a lasting solution to the jihadism that is going on in the Sahel region. We want to make it very clear, as common citizens of Biafra, we know very well that the only thing that is going to end the terrorism or bring an end to the terrorism or a solution to the slaughter of Christians and indigenous people in the geographical location called Nigeria will be the dissolution of that country. Just for us to, just a reflection, we should all always remember that the entity called Nigeria expired in 2014, according to the amalgamation document, which stipulates that after 100 years, each of the regions that make up Nigeria can go their separate ways. Why did I take us back here? I took us back here because I want to remind Biafrans, I want Biafrans to understand that the only way we can be free is doing what we are supposed to do. It's not waiting for anybody. We are to help those who are helping us. And how do we do that? Financially supporting our government. A lot of us say, oh, we should be members of Brigi. I mean, I understand the statement. But as a Biafran, Brigi is your government. You either choose to align yourself with your government or you choose to work against your government. The vehicle, like our lobbyist told us in one of his broadcasts, the vehicle that would drive us into Biafra is Biafra Republic government in exile. And our de facto government in homeland will be there to receive everything that the Republic government in exile has done in diaspora, cement it in homeland. So as a Biafran, you are obligated to support your government. This is not a question of I am in this party or I am in that party. That time is yet to come. As it stands right now, we have a singular government with a singular purpose, which is to restore the full independent state of Biafra. That, as a Biafran, you are obligated to do. Support your government. In Igbo, they say, if the United States is standing up against the terrorism that is happening on our people, then you, as a Biafran, must play your part. It doesn't matter how little you think your input is. The fact that you recognize your government is an input. And if you can financially support your government, you should do it. It pays to do that. It pays to support your government. If you have the skills that you think your government needs, bring it on. Because this government is our government and we must build it together. I want people also to know this. This is from the earlier conversation when we talk about the terrorism in Nigeria, the financiers of terrorism in Nigeria. Every governor in Nigeria is a financier of terrorism. Especially these people in this APC and PDP, whatever, as the Canadian court has already prescribed them as terrorist organizations. If you are receiving security allowances or finances meant for security, and you divert it to buy cars and all the things that are not necessary, you are directly encouraging terrorism to continue in a state where you're supposed to protect the citizens. So they are all financiers of terrorism. One way or the other, they are. They pay the kidnappers ransom that is financing terrorism. So when the time comes, be rest assured, the sanction is not going to stop just on all the people that you think are running for presidency, like Kwankwaso is being in that list. All these governors, David Umahi, the creator and the founder of Ebubago with Muhammad Buhari, late Muhammad Buhari, the impostor, Dave Umahi, they funded Ebubago. All these people created different kinds of terrorist group that they used against our people. So these are funders of terrorism in our land. When the time comes, they will all pay for it. Don't forget, Briggy made a request from the United States. Part of it is to sanction all these political leaders, evil political leaders who have kept the people in perpetuity of suffering and poverty, agony, deaths through terrorism. That is part of what Briggy requested of the United States. And today we are seeing it playing out. But just like they took their time, the time is coming when Biafra going its separate way will not only be the conversation, but the only conversation that would make sense to any ears. You that is sitting on the fence, I want to ask you, how far is that fence holding you? You better jump down from the fence before it collapses on you. If it does really collapse on you, your punishment is not going to end with you, just to be honest with all of you. Your punishment will not end with you, because the land of Biafra will definitely speak and stand against you. Our job as Biafrans is to play our part in supporting our government, doing what we can to make sure that our leaders that are incarcerated are released. The only way they will come out is from what we do. So if you truly want our leaders to be out, play your part. Be a good Biafran citizen and understand that your government is speaking with the United States government. It's not just about, hey, this is happening, or that should happen. No, this is government to government. And that's what you're seeing here. Thank you so much, Tutor, and everyone who is on the space. And may God give you the strength to continue doing what you do. Don't forget, tomorrow is our fundraising. Be a part of it. For today's space, I'm giving my 20 gem, and I'll send you the receipt, Tutor. Thank you, everyone. Daluno.
Hello, our original COAs. Wow. Kai, God bless you for your donation. Thank you so much. Guinea Biafrans, God bless you, our original. You always come to end this space, and we love your voice. We love the way you speak to Biafrans, and they've also heard. Thank you so much. Minister 1 million, are you there? You've been on the mic since. Minister 1 million. Rage and Fury, I gave you Michael. Where are you? Where is everyone? Okay, hold on, wrap up so that we end this space. Rach, where are you? Minister 1 million, where are you? Hold on, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Yeah, wrap up. Use 2 minutes and wrap up. Let me send mic again to Rach.
All right. Thank you very much. Why you are doing that? The bone of all this context is all about demand. One demand from a responsible government, which we are privileged to see in our generation and our time. We call them the number one country of a free world. The United States has really done a very great work, and we can't just appreciate them less. They have actually demonstrated what a leader should look and should be. No, contrary to the expectation of the so-called shenanigans that never wants their act of sucking blood to end, right even within the ends of Nigeria across to the Sahel. While the free world leader is looking forward to see how peace can be and how we can engage to see how life can be saved and people enjoy the best of what God can actually make available for them, which they know that no, that is the right thing to do. It's all about one particular point, one word. It's nothing. I simply ask of security demand. Rally more push is nothing but a humanitarian concern, and I would definitely remember one of the things that he said when he came and being an eye a witness of what he came to investigate. He said he has never seen a charade of evil being committed against humanity in such form ever since in his existence on the face of the earth. And you could see the tail end of how they end it up to tell us that no, the worst place to be on earth is Nigeria. There is nothing anyone should be proud about. There is nothing anyone should celebrate. There is nothing anyone should brag about. That no, this is already a collapsed state, and the U.S. is only looking for one particular opportunity. The opportunity is nothing but no, a safe haven for where people can really get their way out, their way to get liberation, their way to get freedom, their way to live the way God has proposed and destined them to be. I hope I'm being heard.
Yeah, you are being here, but try and wrap up so that we call it a day. Rich is
Oh,
not picking,
okay,
so
thank you very much. So while I try to do that, I still want to hold on that point that no, Ralemo intention of submission has really showed how sincere he has definitely come to bring blow out this report before the state house. And you could see the conclusion. And there is something I would have lost to just talk about when you talks about the Tux box being opened. I remember it talks about that. And the condition that's been prevailed here is the pressure on this particular sovereign state that is collapsing already to see how no they can probably see how they can help this prodigal son. Nigeria being a prodigal son, and they are trying to salvage how they can help him out. And in other way out, if you cannot be helped, there is no other way to see how they can do that, but rather to involve a kinetic approach of military action. When he was talking about gun ablaze, the man really meant something. And to do that, everything have to just align with law. And this is the best way you can go about. And I'm so happy while they are thinking about that, they were looking for a way to have a safe haven, for them that are vulnerable and helpless, to see how they can get themselves safe. And our government has actually come to take a responsibility. BLGIE, we will say thank you. Actually, you have demonstrated the definition of what Biafra is all about. What is Biafra? Biafra is calm. come. So it's a place whereby you can come to have your freedom, and a place that can be a safe haven when you obey the law of the land. So I want to say thank you very much for showing up a responsible heart of a leadership, that we long for, and we are looking forward to see. And we want to hope and expect United States to do that which is needful while they are taking their time. I call upon every Biafran, please, this is the time to engage your government like never before. We are only fighting this very last battle, and then we have it finally. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Holland. Yeah, we have to call it a day right now. Thank you so much. I'm already in Saturday. Thank you to all the speakers and all the donors and all the listeners. Thank you so much. Yeah, it was a great day. So my co-host Onyenye, can you give a closing remark and then we end the space if you are still there? Onyenye one. Okay, he has gone to sleep. So thank you so much, Biafrans. Tomorrow is our fundraising. Please let us gather for our fundraising tomorrow. It doesn't end in attending space, and then when it is time for fundraising, we will not find you doing our fundraising. Please try. And then Sunday we have our town hall meeting, UK town hall meeting. Please let us come out and support UK people. That is the latest announcement that we have. So thank you so much, everyone. God bless you. From here.